Hi everyone, this is today's project. It was a freebie from my husband's office. He is an engineer as well as a pastor, and he works from home, but when he needs an office, he goes into the office building. But nevertheless, they were downsizing the building, so they said, come over and get your furniture. Take it with you. And we were in such desperate need for a desk for his office. So this is indeed a blessing. Now, we had a few mishaps along the way, but nevertheless, we're going to make this project work. Yep, he now goes from a tiny desk to an extra large desk. Now I sanded down this corner to get it nice and smooth, and I will be doing a faux finish onto this, something that will match perfectly, but you won't see it in this video. I want to just get this prepped so we can move it into his office where he desperately needs this desk. Now the guys were anxious to get this thing moved into the office, so while I was gone to the store, they moved the desk from the garage upstairs, which meant that I had to drill the hole in the desk in the office. So to keep from making a mess, we used the shop vac while I was drilling the hole, and that way we had minimal sawdust all over the place. Now we recycled every part of that desk that we needed. Now this smaller portion of the desk would have been perfect for a child's room. You just simply flush it against a wall and adhere it on a 2x4 that's drilled into studs. It would have been perfect, but we didn't have a need for it, so we simply cut away the trim on the front and use that to finish off the front of our new desk. Okay, so now it is back to the garage to finish off these cuts, and let's start working on the next part of the project. Okay, now look closely here. I started using a piece of chalk to just mark where my cut line was going to be. That's what you see in the left-hand corner there. And I marked it at 18.5 inches for my height. If you were to buy a bench in the store, it would probably be between 18 to 20 inches high. And of course, the depth of it might be around 15 inches. This was perfect because the depth of this bench is going to be 15 inches already for me, and I just love it. So guys, I simply marked it with a marker, and there's my husband christening my new circular saw. He wanted to make sure that I knew how to work it. Okay, so he did a great job, and I'm really impressed with that nice straight cut that he made along the back and on the side. Ta-da! He has storage, and he also has the key to that lock. Now I'm going to have to add hardware because you certainly don't want to bend all the way over or get on your knees just to open up the cabinet. So with the two doors in the center facing each other and the doors on the outside opening to the left and to the right, I needed to make a decision. It's impossible to have the two pieces of hardware side by side and then those on the very corner. I thought it looked a little odd. So I decided to simply put all of the hardware in the center of the doors. I made an X from corner to corner with a piece of chalk, and then I just did a sample layout, and I liked what I saw. Now my mind was totally just blown with possibilities of painting styles and techniques to do on this bench, but you have to give the client what they want. So this is my husband's office, and he prefers to keep it the color that it is, and that's absolutely fine with me. Now I do a lot of my work in our garage, and it's so funny. Every time our door opens, our neighbors are usually on their front porch watching their kids, and they always ask, can we come over and see what you're doing? By the way, my circular saw was on sale for $39 at Lowe's, and the hardware that I'm using was $1.67 each for 4 of them. They come with 2 screws, one long and one short. I'm using the shorter one because the doors are not that thick. And now let's add our hardware. Now, even though this hutch has been sliced and diced, so to speak, it's still very heavy. Okay, so we continue on with the recycling of just about anything that we can find that is in great condition. I had foam in my garage and some I'd already cut for some chairs, but I ended up giving the chairs away. So I basically connected a few pieces with a little bit of hot glue and wrapped it with some cloth. I only had to sew 3 sides. That's the side and the back. The back was sewn halfway, and then of course take the corners and you measure out to the length or the thickness of your foam. Mine is 2 inches, and this point, the seam that I have here, measures out at 2 inches. Just clip away the ends if you want, or you can cut straight across. Now let's turn our cover right side out. Let's inspect our corners, and yep, they are approximately 2 inches long, and it looks like I have a perfect fit. Now to step it up just a little bit, I decided to add covered buttons, and I always add hot glue to the back of my covered buttons that I'm using for upholstery, because rubbing against that fabric can cause a little bit fraying and a little strain on the buttons. So my client is very happy. And he is also ready for me to leave his office so he can get to work. He has great storage, and we'll come back and do a lot of the cleanup and dusting a little bit later. But nevertheless, this project is done, and I wanted to quickly get it into your hands so you guys would be inspired as you're going into thrift stores or even office supply places where they sell used furniture. Don't pass these things up, because just because they were designed for professional buildings, you can also modify them to fit your space there at home. Well, that's it for me, guys. I hope that you enjoyed these simple little DIYs. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so today. And remember to turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. There's much more to come this summer with this transformation series. Thanks a lot for watching. And as always, stay in prayer and stay creative.